In the name of Allah, the widely merciful, the ever merciful. This time we discuss the explanation of Sheikh Mohammad Assara'wi of the verses 42 and 43 of the Surah Alnnou'r number 24 in the noble Qur'an o Surah Alnnou'r, verse 42. And to Allah is the dominion of the heavens and the earth, and to Allah is the destiny. End of translation. Your Lord wants to reassure you that who has commissioned you with the commission guarantees for you your life elements. The air will not be cut off at any day, and neither the sun nor the moon and the earth will never ever disdain you, because they belong to Allah the Almighty. None shares within their possession, so can prevent them from you. So do be reassured that they will perform their tasks in serving you till the day of the doomsday, and you occupy not yourself with them. He has guaranteed it for you. Then Allah the Almighty says, Surah Alnnou'r, verse 43. Have you not seen left square bracket, that is, known right square bracket, that Allah has caused the cloud move gently? Then He joins it together, then He makes them into a heap. Thus you see the rain emerges from within it. And He keeps bringing down from the sky mountains, wherein is hail. Thus He strikes therewith whom He wills, and averts it from whom He wills. The flash of its lightning almost takes away the eyesight. End of translation. Allah the Almighty saying, quote, left square bracket, have you not seen? End of quote. Right square bracket means, have you not known? And with the progress of science, we already have recognized the way by which the rain is formed. Evaporating and condensing is what constitutes the cloud, and we said previously that the area of water is 3/4 of the earth, so for this area to be enough for the necessary vapor for rain, and we do this when we evaporate the water and we receive it in a cold surface. So it goes through the condensing process. Quote, left square bracket has caused the clouds move gently, right square bracket, end of quote. Left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 43, right square bracket, means, sends it gently and slowly, then He, quote, left square bracket, then He joins it together, right square bracket, end of quote. Left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 43, right square bracket, meaning, gathers one to the other, and when joining one to another, a break must stay in between, thus not melting together with each other. Had it not for these breaks between the clouds, the water would never fall down. If Allah had willed, He could have made the cloud one piece, but He, extolled, joins it and gathers some of it to the sun without unifying it structurally. Thus injoin occurs between the pieces of the cloud. Have you seen, when we stick the paper with the glue, for example, how much weight you put on it? Still there exist voids, because it is not one identity. And the process of evacuating this, you notice, when you put a wet cup and leaving it for some time, thus the water evaporates from underneath it and the air goes out. If you wanted to lift it, it will be hard. Why? That is for the evacuation of the air from underneath it. And in those who cure the pains of cold left square bracket, that is arthritis right square bracket, thus putting the cup upside down on the place of the pain, they enlighten inside of it a piece of paper, for example, to burn the air which is inside the cup, and so preventing the defect between the cup and the body. This issue is the secret of the great ancient Egyptians in building, whereas the stones stick to one another without cementing binding them to each other. So, the presence of air between the two things causes a defect between them, and had it not for this defect in the cloud, water would have never fallen down from them. And the rain is a great ayah of Allah the Almighty's ayah which we feel it not, and imagine how much the cup of distilled water will cost us in case we prepared it in the laboratory. Let alone of the rain that waters the entire land. Quote, left square bracket, then he makes them into a heap, end of quote. Left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 43 right square bracket, means piled over each other, and in another verse, Surah at verse 44, quote, clouds heaped up, end of quote, piled up over each other, quote, thus you see the rain, end of quote. Left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 43 right square bracket, any, the rain, quote, emerges from within it, end of quote. Left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 43 right square bracket, any, through these gaps and the breaks which separates the pieces of clouds. And this water which comes down from the sky, thus Allah the Almighty revives the land with may come, as an indignation and punishment, as says Allah the Almighty, quote, left square bracket, and he keeps bringing down from the sky mountains, wherein is hail, thus he strikes therewith whom he wills and averts it from whom he wills right square bracket, end of quote. Left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 43 right square bracket, and for us is lesson of the story of Marriage that were drowned by Allah the Almighty. And have you pondered? Then you would have found that the water and the fire are opposite enemies, which are hard to fight, that the Arabs, to a near era, fear the water for what they suffered of drowning after the collapse of Marriage Dam. Therefore, they preferred to live in the desert far from the water. And Allah the Almighty rescued Musa left square bracket Moses right square bracket, peace be upon him, by the water and drowned his enemy the Pharaoh. Thus Allah the Almighty has done the thing and its opposite with the one thing. Quote, left square bracket, the flash of its lightning almost takes away the eyesight right square bracket, end of quote. Left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 43 right square bracket, any, the intensive light that results from the cloud that may take away the visions. In the lightning, fire is born from the water. Therefore, when Allah the Almighty says, Surah at verse 6, and when the seas are kindled in flame. End of translation. Then do believe this verse, because you witnessed a model of it in the issue of lightning. All translations are by L. House.